小爸爸。
Hello friends, this is a very impromptu video, and fair dawning friends, this is a very impromptu video. Ignore the nails. Stress has been biting off my acrylics. Why? We know not. But today, we are here to discuss Heartstopper Series 1. I binged straight after work. Unfortunately, I had to go to work yesterday. I didn't have the forethought to book it off work so I could binge it straight away. But, fear not, I watched it last night. Come here. Closer. Closer. 5 stars. 5 stars. That's it. Okay, bye. No, I'm joking. I need to give you my thoughts, feelings, emotions, whatnot around this series because it was a lot. I did not count how many times I teared up, how many times I cried, but for an 8-episode series, it was a lot. It was a lot. I cried at the graphic novels. I cried at the series, and it was just... Okay, let's try and structure this in some kind of way, because at the moment it's just me rambling. So, let's talk first of all about casting. Should we do that first? Okay, so, casting. Amazing. Just, it was literally like Alice Oseman and the team that were creating the series was just like, they picked Nick and Charlie out of the graphic novel and plonked them and made them into real life people. It was exactly like that. It was exactly how I imagined them to be as people. This is not a critical review, as you can tell. It's just me I'm gonna be gushing about the whole thing for the whole time. I have never seen an adaptation cast so well. I did love the Shadow and Bone casting, not gonna lie. I personally thought the casting for Shadowhunters was okay now that I've read the books, or some of the books. It was okay, not the best, but, you know, they tried. They tried. It was maybe a 5 or a 6, they tried. But this was 10 out of 10, like, even the side characters. I'm a very visual person, so even with graphic novels, in my head, if I can visualise it as a scene in a film, a movie, a film or a movie, they're the same thing. A film, a series, if I visualise it playing out in my head, like, as a scene, when I read, it was exactly what I envisioned it to be. So, yeah, we've got Nick and Charlie, perfectly cast. I love the fact that they cast authentically as well. When they did the casting, they specifically wanted to cast a trans person as Elle. They wanted to cast an English Asian actor as Tao. They weren't afraid to say, this is what we want for these characters, and it's a completely diverse cast as well. Tori doesn't play a massive part in this series, but I've read Solitaire, and I have a feel, once again, I have a feel of what Tori would be like, how she would speak, how she would hold herself. I love the fact that when you see her, she's always got a drink in her hand, and if you've read Solitaire, the details, that's going off casting, but that's going into details, but just, it was the details of, like, the drink. I'm like, I see. So, like, if they did a spin-off where Solitaire was its own series or its own movie, they've cast the right actress for that particular character, if that makes sense. So let's talk about the plot. So, the plot in the series does divert a little bit from the graphic novels, but basically the episodes 1 to 8, they're like the first 2 graphic novels. Essentially, there are little bits. They've introduced 2 new characters. I forgot this in casting. You see how I've not planned this video out? So we have 2 new characters, Isabel and Isaac, And initially I did not like Isabel, and I'm not gonna spoil, this is spoiler free as well, by the way. I cannot form sentences properly because this was not planned, but initially I didn't like Isabel, and if you've watched the series you might know why, you might know where my thoughts were going with what might have potentially changed, and I was not about that. I was like, please stay true to the graphic novels, which I would hope they would do, because Alice Oseman was heavily involved in this as far as I'm aware, so I was assuming that they would stick as much as graphic novels as possible, but this bit did scare me a little bit. But then Isaac, he isn't featured a lot in this, but his demeanour, his little input that he has, it just makes me smile. He's constantly smiley. He's a cheeky character, and I can't wait to see more of him going forward and see how they're going to incorporate Isabel and Isaac more into the story going forward as well. Obviously, because they're not in the graphic novels, I really do want to see how that's going to play out. There were some parts of this that sort of weren't in it, and I can understand why they've done it, and I like where they went with it. But initially I was a bit confused. I was messaging Becca and Claire, I'm like, this weren't in the graphic novel, was it? I've literally just reread them. Please tell me if I totally skipped this and missed it. And they were like, no, you're right. It wasn't in that. And I was like, okay. What else is there? Oh, the visuals. The visuals. Okay, so I love the little... this harkens back to... Was it Tracy Beaker that they did this with? Back to the 90s and early 2000s, when I was a little one growing up, they did this thing with shows where they did... Oh, famously done on Lizzie McGuire as well. Famously done on Lizzie McGuire. Where they put, like, cartoon parts in the different scenes. So, for instance, when there's a spark between Charlie and Nick, there's like little cartoon sparks coming off the hands. When someone's looking at someone lovingly, there's like a little love heart, little thing going on in like cartoon popping up love hearts. That just proper made me smile, because it wasn't full on, it was very subtly done, but it sort of worked well with the whole thing as well, if that makes sense. This is not making any sense, I'm not making any sense, but I just want to know when season 2 is coming out. That's all I want to know. Alice Oseman and Friends, gang, when are we getting season 2? In a way I'm glad I binged it all at once, and in a way I'm not. It does mean I can rewatch it as many times as I want, but I need season 2. I need to plan my life around this show right now. Because of that, I didn't read it all last night, because I was just watching Heartstopper, and I was in awe of everything. And I have not seen anything negative said about this series so far. Absolutely nothing, which I adore. And I also love that I'm seeing not only my friends but other people post comments like, I wish I'd have had this when I was younger, or this scene reminds me of like this happened with me. That was just, it was so lovely to see, and it's very wholesome, it's very sweet, it's very family friendly. It depicts some serious things as well, like the homophobia from some of these characters. I've never hated a character so quickly in my entire life when we meet one of these characters, and in fact 2 of them, but obviously I knew they were coming because I've read the graphic novels. But again, when someone is brought to life in that way, I mean, I hate them in the graphic novel, obviously, for what they do, for what they say, for who they are as a person. But when you bring it to life in a film series form, you hear the way things are said and what is said, and you see the actions playing out. I felt sick watching that bit, not gonna lie. It was horrible to see, but it's also true to life. I do love that we also saw more of Darcy and Tara as characters, and we did see more of Elle. So the characters that we see bits of in the graphic novels, because it's very much centered around Nick and Charlie, and you know, other people have their input, but it's not very, you know, you don't see much of the side characters, but we do see more of Tao, Ellie, Darcy, Tara. I love the fact that we got to see more of the characters and more of Tara and Darcy's story as well. I'm just really excited to see what's next, and I literally reread all 4 graphic novels last week, and I feel like I want to reread them already. I also want to rewatch the series right now as well, but 'tis Saturday the 23rd of April and I have a TBR to get through. I would just like to applaud everyone involved in this series, because I feel like you've just done the graphic novel justice. When you get a book to film or book to series adaptation, there's always a worry that they'll change things too much, that it won't stay true to what the original story was. And with Alice Oseman being involved, you would assume that they did do that and they would do that, but there's always that worry that it wouldn't live up to the amazingness of the original story and the graphic novels. But this did 100%. And also, I would just like to point out as well, this is not a Known Voices review, so if you would like a Known Voices review, then please go find someone who is coming from that perspective. I'm just coming from a person who loved the Heartstopper graphic novels, and I can't wait to read more of Alice Oseman's books. So I'm just coming from that perspective, and it's not a Known Voices review. So without giving spoilers, that is about as much as I can say on this series, but I would highly recommend that you watch it. Like I said, it does deal with some more serious topics, and you see hints coming in of what's to come for the future graphic novels. And if you've read the graphic novels and you've seen the series, you know what it's hinting at already. But it was just so fun to see. Probably my favourite graphic novel series to date, because I've not read that many graphic novel series, but my favourite one to date being brought to life on a screen. It was amazing. Hi guys, so Editing Lisa here. I did forget to mention, obviously because this was just not planned and I didn't have a structure, I forgot to mention the soundtrack. So along with everything else, I think this soundtrack fit so well. If you listen to the lyrics of the tracks as you go along, it fits the situation that they're in, and the way that was done was just chef's kiss. So that is just another point I wanted to add in, because I was so excited to just film my reactions to it. I didn't plan anything and everything just came out like a ramble, but I'm posting this anyway because I'm excited, and it was an amazing series, and yeah, the soundtrack, brilliant. I'm going to go find it on Spotify and just listen to it over and over again, because why not? So yeah, that was me rambling, gushing over Heartstopper for 15 minutes. I don't know what else to say other than, if you've not watched it, go and watch it please, because you will not regret it. It really is a heartwarming, family-friendly series that's just full of love. And oh, one more point I wanted to make as well, and this is also in the graphic novels, but I love the depiction of a trans person just being a trans person. There's no, L's just L, and it's just L being friends with Nick and Charlie. And we've got a lot going on with Nick and Charlie anyway, but I like the fact that it's just, yeah, Ellie's trans. Here she is. She's a beautiful young girl, and she's friends with these people. And that, I just love that. I just really love that, because you don't really see that very much. A lot of the times it's everybody that's remotely queer is tortured and and there's a lot of negativity around it. I just feel like that was purposefully done, and again, not a non-voices review, but so well done, and it was noticed that that was done in that way. So yeah, that's me and my thoughts. I need to go read now and edit this and just do other things, but 10 out of 10 would recommend. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all on the morrow somewhere, I think. Bye.